Mazola, please start for us.
Yeah, ready.
Okay.
Boss, how's those weights you're doing? Jeez, unbelievable.
You wanna come?
With Bonnie?
Yeah.
No, that was, jeez, I can't believe it's a machine.
Coach, maybe, you've got a clash against Arrows, but I wanted to ask you about, 9 games left. I know, maybe the season hasn't finished, but you can at this point kind of have a little bit of an assessment or how your first season has gone at SuperSport.
Well, I think the most important thing is to assess it at the end. I'll tell you why, because if you start assessing now, you're going to get ahead of yourself. So I think it's important now that we, I think we've got 4, I don't know how many home games we've got. We've got 4 or 5 home games left out of the 9, 5 home games. So, those are, we need to take advantage. We've done okay at home, but we need to do better, So obviously Sunday's going to be a difficult game. I mean, last time out they did well, the opposition. So they beat us down in Durban. So we need to try and finish the 9 games strongly, especially at home,
And when you took over, you made it sound like, yes, it's going to take a bit of time, but you did hit the ground running.
First couple of games we struggled a bit, and we were right near the bottom, but also due to playing personnel not having players ready or available, whatever. So we've got to, I've got a much clearer idea of this settled team. What our best team is, what our not, in certain situations what we need or what we don't need. So it takes a little bit of time always, to find out that out, and pretty much know, each individual and the young ones as well, which is important.
Arrows come into this game with their tails up. I mean, after beating Kaizer Chiefs 3, that should pose some serious threats to you.
Yeah, they got, they're always a team that can beat anybody. We all know that over the years. They're a very lively team, obviously a good football team. Villa and Mabuti have done well there. They've been thrown in the deep end and have done really well. So you've got to give them a lot of credit. They'll always be a tough game, and they always find players. They're always producing players from that area and down there, and it'll be no easy game, and they've got a lot of movement. So we need to take care of a few things.
I'm going to ask you something very interesting.
Personal.
No, not even personal. Something interesting. You continue to play Ditlhokwe as if he's not leaving you in a few weeks from now.
I can give you so many examples where teams have got rid of players which have cost them, and I've had players where, even when I was here the last time, we won the league when players were signed for other clubs, and I said, we called them in and said, listen, if you don't cheat the game, because the game, respect the game and respect your contract, and if you say no, I want to leave, then we'll let you go. But other than that, he's been fantastic for us, and it's a big loss for us going forward. But right now he's got 9 games, and I've always said to him, treat the game with respect, and it'll pay you back, and it has.
Is he still giving you the same commitment when you look at his assessment?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it still?
If he drops off, he won't play.
I'm tempted to say, what happens then when you play against the very same Kaizer Chiefs? Would you be giving him that trust as well?
I think so. I will definitely play him. I will not play him. As I said, there's so many examples of teams letting. And the team you just spoke about let a player go in the middle of the season, and he took all the free kicks and they couldn't score another one. So there's examples of that type of thing. I think you need to keep players, and players need to honour the game. And it's 6 months; it's a long time. It's not like 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Where you'd say, even if a player signs a deal somewhere else, I'll still let the player train with us. I'll never, if a player was going overseas and he signed, I'll let him train with us. Of course, the game that's what the game is about.
You're quite hard on your players here when they were missing the early shots. They're trying to drill it into them that they need to score a lot of goals on this weekend.
Well, it's a basic training day that you do every week, just finishing and unopposed and a little bit opposed. If you go anywhere in the world, you're striving for that. That's what you strive for, isn't it? You strive for the goal, the proper pass, the proper finish. That's what you strive for. So it's nothing new. It's an everyday thing. Yeah. And it's a thing. I always say players need to play against themselves, and test themselves and try and get better. And if you find that's happening, you'll have a successful team.
What does a player like Lepasa bring into this league? I heard you going very hard on him.
Am I? Well, maybe he needs it. Yeah. Listen, he's a player. If you look at him, you say, wow, But we need wow to come out, and he's only settling in, so we'll give him a bit of time. But he's different to what we got. That's the reason why he came. Because he's different to what we got. We got certain different types of strikers to him. So let's see how he does. we've got a good test for him, and hopefully we can take it further.
Coach, it's you, Richards Bay, London Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs in terms of the second spot, the race, because obviously the title is gone. Who do you see from those teams, Richards Bay? Who's
I think every game. I mean, if you start worrying about opposition, I think you're going to have a problem. Let's try and concentrate on what we must do here. It's an old adage, you know, you've heard these things a million times. You guys are journalists. But I think we need to just concentrate on what we need to do. Take care of it, you know. That's why last week was so important, you know, and every week's going to be important. And obviously we still play them, Chiefs and Pirates, in the season still, you know.
What would the benefits be of getting Champions League football for SuperSport?
I'd love to get there. Let's get there first. I don't know. I think the benefits will be I always say Africa makes your team stronger, makes your team mentally stronger, better. You know, there's certain times where you can rotate the squad a little bit here and there. So I think it makes you better. And then when you come play domestically, you know, obviously it can affect you like it affected SuperSport the last time. Almost got relegated, you know, when they got to the final of the Confed Cup. So difficult, but we'll tackle that bridge when we get there. Let's try and concentrate first on what you're doing, you know. Don't even think of planning ahead, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Top goal scorer, Bradley's there with Peter and Bimeni. Is he likely to now at this with this training, fitness?
Who's that?
Bradley.
Bradley?
Of the top goal scorer.
Bradley, I always feel a player of Bradley's, you need to take care of him a bit more, you know. I mean, we don't want to flog him to death every day and run him every day, and he's not going to learn how to play football. I can't teach him how to play football. You know, he's at an age where, you know, he should know, and we just need to wrap him up a little bit in the week and then let him go on a Saturday. You know, so we got to. I've handled him a bit differently. Try and have longevity. All these English words now. Longevity in his career. So, you know, you can't flog him to death every day.
Gavin, are you slightly concerned that, you know, the team could change a little bit next season?
Next season?
How far you?
Yeah, we could be decimated.
I mean, obviously.
So it's another rebuild.
TT's leaving, Magaman, Glovu, you know, short-term contracts.
Yeah, you've got people going back to Sundowns. Yeah, it's a major problem, and it's something that I'm tackling every day. But obviously, I'm trying to just, at the moment, just go 9 games, game to game, and then. But it's something we're tackling every day. I mean, it's the best point. That's a very good point. It's a real concern. You know, if you look at it, the team will be very thin. You know.
And I suppose you make use of the foreign sports as well too.
It's all good and well. I mean, you know, when you bring in foreign players, it's always difficult because they bring in. You know, I prefer to go see them there and then bring them. You know what I mean? We bring in and then you look and then you say no. You know, so and you know, it's very difficult because if players are out of contract, I mean, are they really good enough? You know what I'm saying? To what we're looking for. So it's an ongoing thing. And the most important thing in a football club is to look after the squad. Look after your squad. You know, not too old, not too young. You know, right balance. Who's coming, who's going. So always, as much as the future in football is now, the future is now. But you always got to have one eye on, you know, what's happening. You know. So for me, it's a big concern. Yeah, good point.
Your DDC players, they come in handy in that situation.
Who's that?
Your DDC players.
Yeah, but you know, people say, oh, youth development. I agree with youth. I mean, I've come from, know all about it, but you can't just say take them all. You know what I mean? They need to be right, to be good enough, and we're doing a great job here so far. I mean, if you look at our 2 teams, the PSL team and our Diski team, where they are, it's not too bad, you know. And so it's important that we don't just say, oh, they're doing well, we must take them now. You know, and sometimes you might have somebody blocking them because of the age in the first team, and you know what I'm saying. So you've got a good 24, 25-year-old, and you've got a good 17-year-old, but he needs maybe a little bit more time, so maybe a loan. So every individual, there's a different case.